This video was produced by The Top Cut. Be sure to check out thetopcut.net, your home for Pokemon TCG, tournament coverage, professional game analysis, and interviews with the best players in the world. Thanks for watching.
Welcome back to Game 2 of the top 4 at Illinois States. On our left, we have our very own Kyle Pooka Sucevich versus Rob Downs on our right. Game 1 was pretty back and forth, but Kyle did end up taking it, thanks to Rob not having N on his final turn. So it was a very close mirror match. They are both running Zekrom Eelektrik, and Rob gets to go first this game. So he does start with Cleffa and Tynamo. Kind of suspect, because you actually don't need that Cleffa on the board until later. So probably the better starter would have just been start Tynamo, because you know you're going first, and you can decide how you want to play out this turn after that. If you need to eke afterwards, you can just play down Tynamo, or play down the Cleffa and then do whatever. Because you never know what you're going to draw off the top of your deck. Even if you have a no supporter hand, the top of card of the deck could be a supporter, and then you won't need to play Cleffa down. But we do see a Zapdos coming down in this matchup. Very interesting. He's going to be using it mainly for sniping off Tynamos. It can be very good, and you can, if you get 4 heads, knock out pretty much anything in the game for 200 damage. So, you know, if you're lucky, you can do a lot of damage with Zapdos, but mainly it's just there for the sniping ability. So he does get rid of a Lightning with that Juniper. Pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. I still would have... I guess you could have played down the Cleffa. It's not a big deal. But if Kyle does have Tyrogue, which we all know he does, then, you know, it's really just a liability. So there does come a DCE down, and Rob is looking to snipe off that Tynamo next turn. This is going to be very dangerous for Kyle. He's going to need to get a lot of Tynamos onto the board, and he's going to need some way to fend off that Zapdos. But Rob does have a lot, and Rob's turn 1 is looking very, very good. He has 3 Tynamos, a potential prize next turn. You can't really ask for much more than that. So he will be eking and just trying to get a better hand. You know, the cards in his hand weren't really... He's really digging for Eelektriks at this point. And so, let's see if he wakes up. And he stays... Oh, he wakes up what? He wakes up. Yeah. Yep. So, Kyle's turn. Let's see what he can do here. Alright, I see a couple of Lightning in his hand, so I don't know what else he has other than that. But, okay, Kyle. Okay, so he has an Eviolite, plays it on the Zekrom. Pretty safe choice, and has N. So, he doesn't have a bunch of Tynamos. If you're Kyle, what are you looking for in this option? You're actually looking for Tyrogue at this point. You know you're going to lose a Tynamo next turn. So how do you prevent it? Well, you take a prize first. They can snipe off cards for energy all they want, but you're attacking for no energy all day long. So he does get a Dual Ball and a Catcher and DCE. So he will be able to use Tynamo this turn if he gets a heads on this Dual Ball. There is 1 heads. Now you're kind of, if you're Kyle, you're kind of torn. You can get Tyrogue or Tynamo. However, you do not have any Eelektrik in your hand. So even if you get Tynamo, that's kind of risky. You're gonna have to hope you draw into an Eelektrik the turn afterwards. So he goes with the quote unquote more safer play and gets Tyrogue here. He's gonna start taking prizes with the lean, mean machine. He even has another Dynamo, so best of both worlds. So pays the DCE to retreat, and is just going to mischievous punch. He wants to save that catcher for a Dynamo next turn. Rob probably will not be able to evolve all 3 Dynamos next turn. So chances are that catcher is very good. So we do have a Zapdos coming up into the active spot. And let's see, what do you do as Rob? Don't know. Let's see. There's a Lightning, and I believe the attack costs Lightning 2 colorless. I think it's called Random Spark. Yeah. So he is going to catch her up. Dynamo, and not sure why. Maybe. I'm pretty sure Zapdos can hit anything. Now, I don't have much experience with the card, so I may be wrong, and if I am, I apologize, but I do believe Zapdos hits the bench too. In which case, I feel like Zekrom would have been a stronger pick. But that's not really a big deal. So he does get at least 1 Eelektrik, but Kyle will be able to take another prize next turn. Yeah, so he can hit the bench. I would have liked to see Zekrom coming up to the active spot. Just simply force another DCE retreat. Maybe he's thinking, well, what if he evolves? Then he'll still have to pay a DCE to retreat. And then he'll be able to Dynamo the Lightning that's not in his discard. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just a little bit of misstep, but that's... Yeah, I think he's going to lose another prize here because he didn't catch up Zekrom. So, we do see more no energy attacks versus energy attacks, and Tyrogue, like a hero, stays asleep. So he won't be able to deal with it. And he has an Eviolite on the Dynamo, so the Dynamo will live next turn. This is a very nice play from Kyle. 2 Eviolite, definitely something you're not used to seeing in Zekrom Electric deck. It's definitely there for the Terrakion matchup. But here it is coming into play against Zapdos. So Kyle's in the lead with Tyrogue. It's very dominant in this matchup. If you play Tyrogue and your opponent doesn't, and you see a bunch of 30 HP Dynamos, then yeah, you probably just won the game. It is that strong because you can attack, hide behind Tyrogue, and they can't really do much. Rob plays a Sage, discarding a bunch of great cards. That's kind of why you don't play Sage. It's the reward for looking 5 cards deep and cherry picking 2 is too small for the downside, because with a deck like this, your entire deck is just great cards. So when you're discarding great cards for other great cards, it's kind of a downside. It's more downside than upside. Oh, he does Random Strike and realizes that there is an Eviolite on Dynamo, so it will not get a knockout there. And Kyle does wake up with Tyrogue. This is getting very interesting if Kyle does have another catcher. Tyrogue will get in there for potentially 3 prizes. Clearly making it the MVP of the game. So there is a Eelektrik coming out, and now that Zapdos is going to have to 3-shot a Eelektrik, which is definitely not worth it, and he even has N. So Kyle's going to get to draw 4 more cards. He resets Rob's hand, which was a little bit cherry-picked thanks to Sage, and he may potentially even get a catcher off this end. So, is everything going right for Kyle? We will see. Two more. Oh, there's a catcher, and yes, and even a Dynamo. He probably he doesn't want to drop Dynamo yet, though. There is the threat of random spark, so he wants to hold Dynamo. Kyle wants to hold Dynamo, catcher up his opponent's Dynamo, and then mischievous punch it. He plays it down anyways. I guess he's saying you can spend another turn and knock out my Dynamo with your random spark, and I can just bolt strike you. Or, yeah, I don't know how I feel about that Dynamo drop. I would have much rather see it just maybe wait a turn. I mean, what could happen? Well, he could get catcher, bolt striked, and then he would be down Eelektrik. Yeah, there's that. You know, on second thought, I kind of do like the Dynamo drop. Assuming you're losing that Eelektrik on your bench this turn, then it's very good. So either way, you're losing an Eel, and you'd much rather lose the Dynamo than the Eelektrik. So Rob will play down a fourth Dynamo. And he does have an Eviolite, so I would like to see that go onto Zekrom. So both players play 2 Eviolite. Very interesting. He does play it on the... Well, he's considering the Dynamo. He definitely does not want that to get another mischievous punch. He definitely does not want Tyro to get in for 4 prizes. That would be disastrous. And let's see. Well, if you're Rob, what can you do here? Not much. I mean, you're clearly going to random spark the Dynamo on the bench. It's kind of a free prize that Kyle gave him. Can't really turn it down, and Kyle stays asleep. So this could look bad for Kyle. Zapdos has gone in for 2 prizes, not bad. Kyle does need to have Switch now. Oh, and he does have it. So, things are looking up for Kyle, and has Pont. Game could be over if Kyle has if he draws in the catcher. He'll be able to catch up that Eelektrik, bolt strike it, go down the 2 prizes, and as long as he can build up another attacker to deal with the attackers Rob has, then he'll be in great shape. Oh, he even draws a plus power. I believe plus power knocks out the Zapdos. I think it only has 110 HP. Let's see. So, and Kyle, 2 heads once more. Definitely rolling well. Rob a little, clearly a little annoyed that so many heads have been coming up. And, yeah. So, what do you get as Kyle? Well, you've lost 2 Dynamos. You may have a 4th one. But then you play the 2 basics that you grab and you put them in a place where no one can possibly see because of the glare. So it looks like a Thundurus and a Tornadus. So, Thundurus will be very good in this spot. He'll be able to start pecking off random that Dynamo. Okay. Oh! So it looks like Zapdos only had 100 HP, so Bolt Strike will just flat out knock him out. And now Rob has to have plus power Bolt Strike in order to deal with the Zekrom. Now he could go another route and knock out the Eelektrik. Oh, he's even gonna have a Ultra Ball for his 2 Eelektrik. So if you're Rob, there's still hope for you in this game. You know, N is a very powerful card. You're going to have the superior board, more attackers. If you play N in a plus power here, you're in possibly a game-winning situation. So it really just comes down to what's in Rob's hand. I think I saw plus power. Maybe not. But yeah, if he can get a knockout here and that's a junk arm along with N, then he's in fantastic shape. Okay, so he's going to go for a catcher knockout. Maybe he just doesn't have a supporter. Oh, another collector. Interesting. So he's going to get Zekrom, Mewtwo, or Zekrom EX, I'm sorry. I think that's 2 Zekrom EXs and Mewtwo EX. It's very confusing when all the Zekroms are black. So I can't, and we're looking at a distance, so it's hard to tell which Zekroms they are. But we do see a catcher Bolt Strike, and Rob's going to go down to 3 prizes, and Kyle with not much left on his board. He does have dual balls. But I don't know if he has another Dynamo. He may play 4. If he does, he'll be in pretty decent shape. However, there is always a chance that his 4th Dynamo, if he does play 4, is prized. So he does have a junk arm. But I think the best play here will probably just be Bolt Strike, get rid of all the energy. Well, you could get rid of the Eelektrik, and prevent some disaster from coming up with like a Mewtwo coming out with like 10 energy going that might be the safer play, or more to the point, that Zekrom EX. That is a very scary card. So let's see what Kyle dual balls for. Hopefully it's Dynamo. If it is, then he'll be in great shape. He gets a Mewtwo and I think a Thundurus? No, that's a Zekrom. So he did get 2 heads there, and no 4th Dynamo. So yeah, his board very lackluster compared to Rob's. The game could end at a N, but we're going to see a junk arm here. Probably for... I'm actually not let's see, what would you junk arm here for? Maybe a Eviolite? Yeah, Eviolite. Pretty sound play. He prevents Mewtwo from getting... So now Rob will need 5 energy to knock out that Mewtwo. 5 energy between the two of them. Maybe he does have the 4th Dynamo. Nope, just getting the Eelektrik out of the deck. Thinning out his deck. He knows he's not going to be able to use it. Just like he got rid of... He junk armed away cards he won't be able to use. Just thinning out his deck. He doesn't really want to draw Ultra Ball. If he has another junk arm, that would be even better for Kyle. Let's see. So, if you're Kyle, what do you do here? Well, you're going to have to Bolt Strike. I can't imagine him going... Well, actually, there's only 1 energy. Oh, he plays Juniper. Interesting. He hits DCE and plus power. A very good set of cards for Kyle. Okay, so yeah, you can attach DCE, and then what that forces, your opponent has to send up Zekrom or something that has a lot of retreat. So he's not going to be able to counter knockout that Mewtwo with his own Mewtwo unless he has a plus power. However, this game could go very sour for Kyle if Rob does have the plus power Mewtwo. No. He needs more than that. Because Rob has to have 3 energy on his Mewtwo. So, he could do it. If he has a DCE, he'll be able to attach DCE to Zekrom, Ultra Ball for Shaman, move all the lightnings over to Mewtwo, and then retreat Zekrom. That is one way. A switch would do it for him too. But regardless, N looks very strong here. He's going to need to use N here. Let's see what Zekrom EX comes down. Pretty safe choice in this situation. You know, if anything gets knocked out, Rob loses the game. So it's safe to drop down EXs at this point. Will he drop Mewtwo? I think that would be a good idea. You know, there's no guarantee that Kyle can take the next prize either. But he really needs to deal with this Mewtwo. Let's see, so he junk arms away Mewtwo. And he gets... this is interesting. He gets Catcher. And he's catching up Tyrogue. Interesting. And plays Juniper. I much prefer him knocking out Mewtwo at this point. He probably figures it's not possible, but I feel like he should have just gambled and went for it. Because if he does hit the switch, if he hits a bunch of... he didn't realize that he didn't have enough energy to actually attack. Kyle, being the nice guy, letting him take that back. Probably because he already has a catcher in his hand, so it doesn't actually matter. Yep, there's the junk arm. Gets catcher. Catchers up an Eelektrik, and he's just gonna bolt strike. Yep. And Kyle wins 2-0. He did have the Shaman. I mean, it's unfortunate that he didn't have N. But, yeah. So, Kyle wins 2-0 thanks to Rob not having any Ns on the last turn. That's kind of how this matchup plays out. But, congratulations, Kyle. We'll see you in the finals.